Welcome back. Our big story tonight is the very dangerous heat. Several counties in our area set up cooling stations for people who do not have air conditioning.
With all the details, Jade.
Well, you guys, typically flashlights are used to help people see in the dark. This time, a homeowner used it to knock the lights out of someone. The high temperatures are to blame on at least 2 deaths over the weekend. Well, Trent, there were flames shooting out of this building from every direction this morning. Let's walk inside and I can show you guys what's here tonight. Tonight, there is just the stench of smoke, so thick that it just really sucks all the moisture out of your mouth. The walls are covered with soot. Tonight, there are no more computers. There are no more textbooks. There are no more toys. Just a reminder of what's no longer here. The last hope for a Boys and Girls Club in this rough part of Anderson County went up in flames early this morning.
When it burned, it took a lot out of the community for the kids around here, to get them off the streets and out of the drug area.
Brad Kidd has 2 children of his own and one on the way. He says when this club was robbed and burned down back around Christmas of 2010, it was a blow to the community. After this morning's suspicious fire, hope of it reopening has been reduced to a pile of rubble. It's the kids in the neighborhood who suffer.
They just don't have no place to go over here anymore, and they just run the roads now.
We went inside and got some few things from there.
Now that it's gone, what do you think?
It's sad.
7-year-old Valerie House is one of the lucky kids. Her parents filled the void by building this tree house to keep her and all of her friends busy this summer.
It's nice, and that's going to be the girls' room and boys' room.
A girls' and boys' room to take the place of the Girls and Boys Club that used to offer so much. And back out here live on the scene, you can see behind me how extensive the damage was. This apparently was a reception area, and now it is just charred, mangled metal and scrap metal. Tonight, they say they have no suspects. If you've got any information, call 888-CRIME-SC. Trent? Prayers were lifted up along with these balloons in memory of 11-year-old Davius Boyd.
Strengthen this family. Give them courage.
Today, Chief Terry Wilfong says his death was ruled an accident.
It's been determined that it was an accidental shooting. The boys were basically playing with the gun. Both had their hands on the gun and the gun discharged, fatally striking the one child, unfortunately.
An unfortunate accident a grieving father hopes everyone learns from.
I hope everybody get this message, man. Them guns ain't no toy.
Amen. Right. Amen.
I don't wish this to ever happen again. I don't even want to see this type of stuff on the news.
People out here today hope legislators hear their message. They want gun locks like these to be mandatory for all gun owners to have and use.
I'm not mad at the kid. I'm mad at the person that left the gun in the house. I can't keep from saying it enough. Because if something don't be done, it's going to be somebody else's kid.
Knowing they can't bring back Davius, they are hoping another child's life will be saved from this tragedy.
What you they play with? What you have they go to? Keep your eyes on your children. Make sure that your child don't have to get away from like our child did, got away from us.
It happened in the middle of the afternoon. Remigio Cantu looked out the window and was outraged at what he saw. I guess you open the window up, you might expect to see a dog in the yard, maybe.
Yeah, well, I didn't see no dog.
Instead, he says he locked eyes with this man, 53-year-old Clarence Scott, in midstream, comfortably relieving himself on this gate by the front door.
He actually had it out, urinating right there, and I got very upset. Thinking, what if my daughter would have seen this? So then I stepped out my front door and I went to the man and I told him, hey, what the F are you doing, man? I got kids inside, man. What's wrong with you?
He says for the past few months, he's noticed the unmistakable stench of urine by the front door. Never would he imagine a man to be the culprit.
We've come out here, it smells like urinate out here. And like I said, when I caught him, he looked so comfortable that I believe he's done it more than one time. I mean, he didn't hesitate to look back, look forward, nothing. He was just doing his thing like he was actually urinating in a commode.
Cantu says he followed Scott to this nearby gas station where deputies arrived and the bizarre got more bizarre.
Cops came, then all of a sudden he tried to play Superman. He tried to take off his shirt and run towards me. That's when the cop yoked him up, slammed him against the vehicle, and he was put in handcuffs.
Clarence Scott was arrested and charged with disorderly conduct.
I just went to flip mode. I mean, just the sake, nowadays you got to do what you got to do. I mean, if you don't protect yourself and you don't protect your family, who's going to do it for you?
Tonight there is a makeshift memorial here behind me for 15-month-old Joelle Padilla. Her life lost this morning. Everyone in the neighborhood has bought candles and flowers. Investigators are still trying to figure out who was driving the car that killed her. Meanwhile, her mother spoke in front of our cameras, pleading for that person to come forward. 15-month-old Joelle Padilla just learned to walk and loved making her way across the street to the swing set. Today, her life ended while in that same street.
I came back up the road and seen the baby laying in the road and where she had been hit by a car.
Her mother, Rena Padilla, says she was making a quick run to the store when it happened. She says, I went to the store. I told my sister I'm leaving my kids with you. I will be right back because it's too hot. It was just 5 minutes away from home. She says sometime in between, her daughter was hit. The question is, by whom? Investigators say this was no hit and run, but a car versus pedestrian, which means whomever did it is still around the neighborhood.
We have to make sure that we basically cross every T and dot every I. We want any agency that needs to be involved that could assist us with our investigation and possibly even assist them with their investigation.
Right now we're trying to determine which vehicle struck the child.
The mother told us her other child, who's just 5, saw a blue car hit Joelle. She also told us investigators took her blue SUV and her ex-husband's white SUV into evidence.
Yo quiero es que hagan justicia.
Tonight, she says she wants justice as investigators piece this together, and her daughter, 15-month-old Joelle Padilla, rests in peace.
That little kid, that little child, that little baby, may she rest in peace. I know God's got her in his hands. I'm sorry.
Her mother also tells us that her 2 children were taken into DSS custody earlier today. We do know tonight that one of those children is in her father's custody. Also, the autopsy for Joelle is expected to be done tomorrow morning. Of course, I'll have more on this story coming up a bit later in the newscast. For now, we're live in Greenville County. Jade Hindmon, Fox Carolina News Tonight.